Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's the 4F Podcast here. We're here with your favorite hosts, Rashed and Christion Kirkley. We're back today with another banger episode. Today we're going to be talking about a lot of different things, so you guys need to stay tuned for this. We also are bringing on a special guest later on in the episode. His name is Joe. He's going to talk about, taking risks and all that. And what was the other stuff he was talking about?
Man, Joe went in. He was talking about some really good stuff.
Yeah,
Stay tuned and you'll see it.
Yeah.
You'll see it.
Alright, so on this podcast episode, we're going to be kind of talking majorly about finances and things like that. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. We got a lot planned. So the first topic I want to talk about is honestly just dive a little bit into taking risks just a little bit.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? 'Cause I feel like a lot of people nowadays, they don't take risks.
Mm-hmm.
They spend their money on stuff they don't need instead of them taking a risk that could change their life forever. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, well, like we talk about later in the episode, I think that part of the reason there's a wealth gap, one of the contributing factors is there's a risk gap. There's people that take risks and there's people that don't take risks.
Yep.
You know, if you're on the side that don't take risks, don't expect to get a payout that would involve taking a risk. It seems simple, but it's not. You can't play the lottery. You can't win the lottery if you don't buy a ticket. You can't win the championship if you're not in the league. You know.
Yeah, 'cause that's one thing is like a lot of people nowadays, they're just living in that scared mindset. Like they always have some sort of excuse to why they can't do something. I'm realizing that a lot.
Yeah.
Like people telling me like, okay, investing. They be like, man, no, I ain't finna invest nothing, man. I'm gonna lose my money, man. Why you want me to do that for?
Next day, wait till my parlay hit.
Yeah, next day up there talking about something. Oh, wait till my parlay hit, man. I got these 6 games lined up and they all hit. I'm rich.
Yeah.
They don't never hit.
Yeah.
But they don't want to invest money, which is pretty much, if you invest in the right stuff, it's guaranteed you can put money in your Roth IRA. Right. So a lot of stuff you can invest in that's actually beneficial to you. Because we might as well just deep dive in on this sports betting thing. Let's get in on it. This podcast right here. We're going in. So
we're going in.
This is some of you guys. Hopefully, you guys don't take this as we're just attacking you. Take it as a learning thing. We're really
I hope you get offended.
yeah.
Write me a letter.
Yeah, some of y'all got some habits and stuff that are really bad. You guys need to stop them. It's like this sports betting thing. Let's just think about that. People will spend, they don't want to invest in stocks, but they spend thousands in sports betting. Yeah. Sports betting is a big industry. People, and honestly, it's really just for let's say gambling. That's all it is. Gambling, bro. Like people say, oh no, it ain't gambling. But no, like
someone for real tried to debate that with you.
Yeah, they tried to debate it. Yeah, and they tried to say, no, this ain't gambling. It's guaranteed.
It's guaranteed.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna make my money. I know if I bet LeBron James, LeBron gonna do what he gonna do.
Oh,
but LeBron,
what if LeBron breaks his ankle?
Steph Curry,
he's not Superman.
He's
a human just like us, bro.
He said he's not Superman.
Never mind.
What you gonna say?
What's it called? So. There's a really interesting company that y'all all know about. It's called DraftKings.
DraftKings, yeah.
So, I personally own DraftKings stock. You know, I'm not giving any investment advice. I'm just telling you what I do.
Yeah.
Do what you want with it.
Yeah.
DraftKings is up 122% in the past year.
Because you people. Yeah, but
so please keep betting sports betting so I can keep getting. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's see.
No. So think about. I just want to break down that number.
Yeah,
122%.
Yeah,
return.
Yeah.
If you took that $1,000 that you would have put in sports betting, you put it in DraftKings, you would have gained $1,000. Your $1,000 would not be $2,000. You took $100. Your $100 would not be $200. So what for the smart people out there, you know, if you put your money in the things that the average people are fueling, then you're gonna get paid. You know, real estate. Most people are too scared to buy property. Yeah, so buy a rental property so that you make money whenever people want to just pay rent and they don't want to.
Well, people make excuses on that. Say, man, that's too risky, man. I gotta manage people. What if they don't pay? Well, then they always come up with excuses for everything. They be like, yeah, well, what about you for bad rent?
Calculated risk equals return.
Yeah.
There is no return without risk. You know, your money isn't even safe in a normal bank account.
True.
That the banks. I work at a bank.
Mm-hmm.
We have 99 years. Oh, man, all right, I already opened up the can of worms. All right, whatever. We have in the actual FDIC terms.
Yeah.
We have 99 years to pay you back. Everyone's like, it's up to 250. Yeah, it's up to 250, but we have 99 years to pay you back.
That's
so
crazy.
You know, in my opinion, I think not taking risks is riskier. Everything's a risk. Everything's a bet.
Mm-hmm.
Driving to work, that's a risk.
Yeah, you crash out. Yeah, you crash out. Like, people just don't really understand, like, that concept. Like, you taking risk can honestly change your life. People, like, I hear people say all the time, oh, I got kids. I got a wife. I got to pay my bills. Oh, why would I do that? And it might risk me having paying my bills and my car note. Like, but if you do that, and honestly, if you got the right mindset, if you do it and don't work, you can get a job again.
Yeah. The thing is never risk more than you can lose.
Yeah.
And if you risk a small enough amount to where it doesn't hurt you, it doesn't put you in harm's way or anything like that, and you lose those little losses and you'll be okay. But when you win big on one of those little losses, then you won big. So, if we're talking trading, if you only risk $1 for every $3 that you stand to make, well then you only need to win 33% of the time.
Facts. And it's like also the people that say they don't have time to do anything. But let's really break down. I'm gonna get on some of y'all cases. Let's break down what y'all do with y'all time. Half of y'all sit there and scroll on TikTok for 4 hours. And y'all be complaining, oh, I don't have time to learn no new skill. I don't have time to do that, man. I got so much stuff going on. I'll be busy when I get off work. You sit there and scroll on TikTok and watch football games every Sunday. That's your time to go read a book, learn something new that can elevate you to the next level. Why do that?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me.
I don't get it.
Yeah, like, people just gotta realize that, like, you got the same 24 hours as Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. You got the same 24 hours as them. If you wanna actually succeed and get somewhere in life, you're gonna have to take some time out somewhere. Hell, if you wanna work out, if you start people saying, oh, I don't have time to work out, well, get up earlier. Like, it's always gonna be an opportunity for you to learn a new skill. That's how I feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with betting and taking risks, there's 4 types of bets. There's good bets, there's bad bets, there's good bets that you didn't win on, and then there's bad bets that you won on.
Yeah.
The worst kind of bet that you can win is a bad bet that you won on.
A bad bet.
A bad bet that you won on. A bad bet that you win on is a sports bet.
Yeah.
Or a bad bet that you win on is a lottery ticket.
Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys now, like, that stuff is not guaranteed. Don't let nobody tell you it's guaranteed. And even that whole sports betting business, I know we'll talk about this a little bit earlier. People, and this, if y'all was a little bit smarter, y'all probably would do this. What I would do if I was gonna be a sports bettor, I would teach people how to sports bet, because that's where the money's at. Because think about it, these people, and this is what some of the people do. They go get into these groups that people do sports betting. They pay them a membership fee every month. And basically, he just spews out random picks to you, and you pick those. And it ain't no guarantee if you're going to get it or not. Like I said, LeBron James a human. He might get hurt. What you going to do if you get hurt? Like, you might, and then the person that owns it be like, man, no, it'll guarantee you. I don't know what happened. That whole system is flawed. If you understand it, all they're doing is charging you money a month to throw out picks, but you can just basically pick yourself. That and the lottery, those are bad bets. Like, I wouldn't be risking my money in that. If I was like you said, invest in the stock maybe, because if you think about it, all these millions of people putting in thousands of dollars into the sports betting industry, you can get on the back end of it and own the stock of it, and you'll in turn make money. But you just being a regular person, do you know anybody that actually got rich off of just sports betting? Nobody.
No, the people that made the companies. And
if you do hit, it's pure luck. Don't think it can be replicated.
It's pure luck.
That's one of the only investments. That and the lottery, I think, is pure luck. I think the lottery, 0.001%.
I think you got a better chance of getting struck by lightning.
And then y'all be putting so much faith in this stuff. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, just the whole idea of the get rich quick scheme. Yeah. That's something we really got to discuss. The whole idea is no get rich quick.
No.
I'm going to tell you that right now. I've been there. I've been to the point. I tried it before. I tried get rich quick schemes and stuff. That don't work. It's nothing that you can do that gonna make you a lot of money in like 10 days or something like that. It ain't nothing like that.
Unless you're talking luck.
Unless you're talking luck, like, you know, sometimes luck is a factor, probability. But at the same time, for the average person, that doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta actually take time to learn something, and that's what I really want to touch on too. Like, you guys you got to get out that mindset of just thinking that money is like, it's not hard to make if you're getting the right stuff. Don't get me wrong, but it's not gonna be a way that you can just put $10 in this, you make $100,000. Never gonna happen like that. Unless you're just one lucky person, you might just get like a one crypto bull run and just take it. But that's luck. Like,
that's a bad bet.
That is a bad bet.
That's a bad bet that you won. Like I said, that's the worst kind of bet, because now it's like snorting a line of cocaine.
Yeah, but guess what?
Now you're high.
What happens with all the people that do get rich off that? They lose all their
bro, the Dogecoin millionaire. he went all the way up into the millions in his net worth.
He didn't want to sell.
And everybody was like, bro, you gotta sell.
You straight, you'll be straight. Like, you'll be straight for life.
He didn't sell.
He didn't sell.
Yeah.
And it's over.
Because it was a bad bet, bro.
It was a bad bet.
You know, there's so many things that the odds are in your favor, like real estate.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good bet.
Yeah.
And
most millionaires are made from real estate.
It's okay to lose on a good bet, because nothing is barely anything is 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're gonna want to take, even if something's 51% of the time you win.
Mm-hmm.
If you play 100 hands, well, you're gonna win. You're still gonna win in the end, because your wins outweigh your losses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the thing is, with something like real estate, if you look at the long-term chart, the price growth of real estate, the odds are heavily in your favor. We're talking probably the odds of you making money in real estate. Let's just say your house appreciating over 20 years. We're talking probably the 90% probability range that your house will most likely appreciate over the next 20 years.
Right.
And how you would look at that is you would just take the past 20 years and then the past 20 years before that, and then average them out and see how many of those years real estate went up over 20 years. I think the worst time was obviously 2008, but let's just say you bought your house in 2006 at the peak of the market, and then 20 years later you sell in 2026. Well, shoot, probably in 2015 or 2016 you made your money back.
Yeah, like,
in about 10 years.
Yeah.
Imagine 20. You know?
Yeah, man. It's crazy if you make safe investments like that. Like, if you like I said, it's good. We're talking about good bets here. Yeah. If you do that, you got a better chance instead of just taking bad bets. Yeah. Because that's what a lot of people do. But that's how society is. It feeds you stuff like that.
You want to know what's a bad bet?
What?
Picking up a girl at the club.
Oh, that's a bad bet.
That's a bad bet.
That's a bad bet.
That's putting the odds against your favor. You want to know what's a bad bet?
What?
Marrying a girl, like, for real, after only knowing her for like a month.
A month. Yep, that's a bad bet. It's like,
not wearing a condom's a bad bet.
That's a bad bet. Yeah,
that's a bad bet, bro. The probability is bad, bro. I've been there, done that.
Yeah, like I said,
don't do it.
Don't do it. Like, a lot of people be taking bad bets. Like, you know the odds. Like, for example, you said about the condom thing. You know, if you don't wear a condom,
don't be silly. Wrap your willy, bro.
The odds are not gonna be in your favor, and that's what a lot of people like. It's so simple to just do the right thing, and you know what the right thing to do is. Like, it's the right thing giving your check up to sports bets. It's the right bet going to the strip club.
Bro, tell me. So get this: in Alabama, it's illegal to play the lottery.
Yeah,
because it's the Bible Belt. They're kind of outdated, whatever. But as soon as we go past Tennessee, the Tennessee state line, Ardmore, there's straight gas stations.
Lottery ticket.
Lottery. They're like, it's like a little lottery town, right? And even on Sunday morning on the way to church, we see people lined up to play lottery, bro. And like,
maybe one day.
And if you go in and you ask them, like, you know, they actually think that they're making a good decision. Yeah. If you can think in bets, there's a really, really good book called Thinking in Bets by Annie Dukes. She was a PhD in psychology. She got married, and her and her husband moved to the middle of Montana. And like, she was unemployed, and then she just decided to go into the local poker hall and just pick up poker. Her brother was really good at poker as well, so he kind of inspired her too, but she didn't know how to play. She got destroyed at first, but then she started learning and picking up on things. A really good book called Thinking in Bets. And then there's another one called The Rule by Larry Hite, and that one talks about putting the odds in your favor.
Yeah, like, that's a key component to life. It's things you can do to put the odds in your favor.
Yeah.
Like you reading books. That can put the odds in your favor.
Bro, I think about that junk every day nearly. Like, for example, so I'll just be straight up. So, one of my cars is in the shop, so I got to drive one that I haven't had insurance on. Because what I did, I used something called Hugo. It's insurance by the day. You told me about it. So you can get insurance for flexible amounts of time. Let's say I'm only going to be in this car for a week. Okay, well, I'll insure this car for a week. Man, I'm halfway down the road. I forgot to put insurance on this car. I'm thinking, okay, would the odds of me going ahead and pulling out my phone and putting insurance on this car while I'm driving outweigh, is the odds of taking that risk and wrecking worse than me getting hit by somebody and then going to jail for insurance, not having insurance? That was a horrible bet both ways, bro. That was a horrible bet both ways. So that's an example of
not having the odds.
And honestly, it's an example of a bad bet that went good because thankfully I didn't hit it.
Ain't nobody.
But that's the probability is probably of, and I mean we could honestly break it down if we wanted to, but I don't want to get too deep into it. It's a low probability, but the cost in the pain and the suffering. Let's just talk the dollar cost. The thing is, there was a probability of me getting into a wreck without insurance. The moment I got on the road. Without even thinking about it. The odds of that though are they're slim. But the reason, if it only cost me $1 and I got a slap on the wrist and someone just repaired my car, hell yeah, I'd be doing that junk. No biggie. But the thing is, it's gonna cost me that much, and it's gonna be a big deal.
It's gonna be a big deal.
So the little bit of chance, it's not worth it. Drinking and driving.
It ain't worth it. I'm gonna tell y'all.
You might get home safe.
But it's always a probability. Once you get behind that wheel, you can crash out.
Yes.
You can't just sit and say, "Oh yeah," just because it ain't happened this time. It can happen.
That's not putting the odds.
That's not putting your odds in your favor. Like throughout your life, when you do stuff, you need to try to stack the odds in your favor. Like for example, if you want to be successful in life, you can try to hang around successful people. That stacks the odds in your favor instead of you hanging around bums all day. You know what I'm saying? Like I just mentioned, reading books. If you say, okay, I don't know nothing about financial literacy, I'm at the beginning. Go read books that can stack the odds.
Audiobooks even.
Audiobooks.
5 minutes in the car instead of listening to songs about shooting up people's grandma's houses and honky tonking at the tavern. Man, if you take 5 minutes and just take a little bit of that time and just throw on something about how to freaking invest in the market or what is real, these little things, because the people that are taking that time are profiting off of the people that aren't taking the time to learn these things. And then people complain about life being unfair. What's unfair is that you aren't reading, you aren't learning. That's what's unfair to your family.
You know what I think?
What?
A lot of people need to self-evaluate. That's the problem.
I need to.
Yeah, like
everyone needs to self-evaluate.
Literally just sit down and listen to half of the stuff that come out your mouth.
Yeah.
And see, are you really doing things that's taking you to the next level? Because some people go out to the club every weekend. Is that stacking the odds in your favor, getting drunk every weekend, spending money at the club, leaving with some hooker?
That's stacked. And the thing is it's stacking the odds against you because the probability of you being broke increases. The probability of you not becoming the best version of yourself increases. And the probability of you becoming successful decreases. And hitting your goals, it decreases.
That's like you eating fast food every day. If you're trying to be healthy, but you're eating fast food every day, that's not stacking the odds in your favor because you're eating stuff that's not good for your body. Like I said, in life, you're going to have to stack the odds in your favor. That's the only way you get to the next level. That's the only way you be successful. That's the only way you're going to make it.
Also, you can't win if you don't bet. So
that is true.
We're talking poker.
We're
talking poker, blackjack, anything. The market, anything, bro. Real estate.
Yeah.
You can't win if you don't bet.
Yeah, you have to bet. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm gonna sit here and say I don't think nothing is 100% guaranteed.
Right.
You gonna have to take a bet somewhere.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's good bets and it's bad bets.
Not taking a bet's a bet.
Elaborate on that.
So not taking a bet is a bet that you're gonna be okay. What if you're not? What if you only putting money in your checking and your savings account that your bet that's going to make you okay. Well, guess what? There's a probability that you're not going to be financially safe whenever crap hits the fan, like it will. You know.
Then,
So.
Yeah, man. And then it's like with jobs and stuff, people take a bet on those, but those are not as secure as people think they are.
Man, people put way too many chips on the table
Guess what?
on their job.
Your boss and all that lifestyle you got, the cars, house, and all that. Your job, your boss will come to you and say, "Hey, man, we gotta let you."
You think
off.
that CEO knows your name?
No,
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. Most of y'all out there, probably not. For the ones that do, cool. But now you have the risk of a small company, and that's a whole nother can of worms, bro.
And then it's like
bet on yourself.
Bet on yourself. And that's the thing. Like
bro.
I'm not. Okay, some people like working jobs. I'm not gonna bash that.
Yeah, no. It's a means to an end.
It's a means to an end.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're working a job, you need to. I'm not gonna sit here and say don't follow your dreams. You gotta always follow your dream. I know every person I've talked to, even people that like I work with and everything like that and work with throughout the year, they all have a dream. They said, man, I wish I could be doing this. I had one dude say, I want to be a fitness influencer. You work out a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, but why you not out there making videos? Well, I got a bit of time and all that. That's an excuse. Like, you can, when you get off work, you be going to the gym, just record yourself working out and stuff like that, or do a little course or something like that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that can elevate you and get you to where you want to be. Don't let your job be so stressful to the point to where you can't work on yourself outside of that.
Yeah.
Like, and it's gonna take you as an individual just want to do it as well. I'm gonna sit here and say that because like I said, when we run the marathon, I was out there on night shift training with you. I could have just said, man, nah, bro, I am not training for the whole month, and that could have cost me my marathon. Probably couldn't be able to run it. But I decided, okay, I know I got the job. I don't like doing it, but at the same time, I'm gonna still do what I have to do because it's gonna better me. And that's how everybody else should look at their situation with their life. You want to get to the next level and actually start taking the good bets and everything that you need to take, you're gonna have to just go ahead and start doing what you gotta do. Like, 'cause I feel like everybody know what they gotta do. Like in your head, the voice inside your head, you know what you gotta do, but they don't do it. Like taking action is a big thing. Taking action, taking risks, man.
The thing, we know what we have to do, but I think most people don't do it because of the self-destructing mechanism. So like most people know what they have to do. Yeah. You know, but I feel like a lot of people self-sabotage. You know, like there's a really good book called The Mountain Is You, and it talks about how most of us know what we have to do, but a lot of the times we will do things to keep us from becoming the best version of ourselves or taking that next step. And it's just self-sabotage.
And then the crazy thing about it, most of the time the stuff we put off only take like 15 minutes. Yeah. Like it's quick. Like we'll put off doing work, like okay, like for example, people be like, they know like, okay, well, so it's YouTube, so you know YouTube. Okay, I gotta upload this video. They'll put it off for like 2-3 weeks, and then after a while, they just forget all about it altogether. You know what you gotta do. It only takes 15. If you think about it, the procrastination is a big thing that people deal with too. Procrastinating, and it just you getting excuses for you not to do something. It's no purpose in doing that.
It's a lot easier to complain about why you're not successful than to work hard.
That's what I'm saying.
And to do those little things.
It's a lot easier to and people like taking the easy route. Yeah. That's the thing. The average person, like I said, you got to be, I say built different. When they say you got to be built different to take the other route and actually do the stuff you say you're going to do. But like, it's easy to sit down. It's easy to watch TV all day. It's easy to get on the video game. It's easy to, instead of going out and talking to people, like like trying to get girls and stuff, they go watch porn. Because that's easier way. Yeah. Like, you gonna have to take risks somewhere. Like I said, like
relationships.
And the risk builds you.
Yeah.
The risk builds your character.
Yeah,
I would say that, like, for example, like some people grow up shy, like they can't talk to like girls or go out and make connection because they're just so shy, just in their head about everything. But when you take that risk, okay, even if you go up to somebody and you speak to them and you stutter a little bit, okay, cool. That person not gonna remember the interaction.
No, they're not.
Right after your mind, like, and that's something I want to tell you guys. Like, if your guys are having trouble just interacting with people, your mind is the only thing that's gonna talk you out of it, and your mind makes you think. Like, for example, like, I could just meet you and I could feel like I said something like real weird. I guarantee, even if I did say something weird, after that, you going on about your day. You're not gonna think about it. You might think about that one time, like, oh yeah, that got weird. But at the same time, after that, I'm not nowhere a big part of your life. You ain't even gonna think about it like that.
Yeah.
So when you going at the people and interacting and trying to make connections and things like that, you have to just do it and just have confidence in yourself. And the way you build confidence is by repetition. That's with anything, honestly. Repetition builds confidence and it develops your character. I feel.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like talking to people and relationships and things. I know a lot of people that just don't try.
They don't try.
Yeah.
And they make all the excuses in the world.
Yeah. Oh man, girls are this nowadays.
Yeah, man.
Oh, men ain't crap.
The red pill.
Yeah.
That's what the red pill is.
Yeah.
People that couldn't get nothing going on, and they always making excuses for women bad, women this, women
and
that.
And then it's the same thing on the other side of the coin where there's women that just dog men all the time.
Yeah, they dog men all the time just because of the situation they put them
and
it's themselves to.
And it's like, have you looked in the mirror? Do you see the type of person that you are? Now you are going to attract those type of people, that quality, that caliber of people.
Yeah,
you attract the caliber and the quality of people that you are.
Facts.
The better person that you become, the better people that you attract. That's the law of attraction.
That's the law of
Why
attraction.
would an eagle want to hang out with a pigeon? You know, why you got a pigeon down here.
Yeah.
All these other pigeons are crap. Man ain't this, man ain't that. Man, I deserve an eagle. You are a KFC chicken, and you out here trying to hang out at, I don't know, freaking the Mirage.
The Mirage or something.
Ritz-Carlton.
Ritz-Carlton.
You're a Hotel 6 trying to charge the prices of a Ritz-Carlton. And then when people don't want to book with you, you say they ain't nothing.
They ain't nothing, man.
Fat shaming and all this. Man, if y'all don't get out of here with all that.
I'm saying, and it's like, that's a problem with a lot of people nowadays. They just don't self-evaluate. Self-evaluation can help a lot of this stuff. Like, if you just, understand how you are, how you act, and look in the mirror and say, okay, well, maybe I'm attracting these people. Maybe if I got tendencies, like, maybe if I'm a bad person, or like, say you like, some people hang around street people all the time. Facts. And they be like, oh, all the girls like, only man I get, he don't never got nothing going for himself. Bro. He always ain't got no car or nothing that.
Those same type of girls will have put together, respectable men come into their lives. Oh, that dude's soft.
Yeah, he's soft. I can't deal with that.
He weak.
He ain't told no.
He ain't about it.
It's
Come
crazy.
on now.
It's crazy.
There was this one girl, and she was talking about how she couldn't find no dudes, right? And I'm like, okay, for sure. Like, what kind of dudes do you like? And then she was like, I like, and she named all these good qualities about men, and I'm like thinking, something doesn't add up here. And next thing you know, she's talking about her ex, and she's like, yeah, my ex, he always liked to use hollow points for his guns. And I'm like, hold on, time out. And she was like, yeah, he was a shooter. And I'm like, you over here dating a dude that's a shooter.
I think it's good. I think it's good.
Yeah. And the thing is, she what she really is she's looking for those kind of guys. But then whenever it doesn't work out, whenever they do what they're gonna do because they're gonna play you, she complains about that guy and says that he doesn't meet these qualities that she was never really looking for in the first place.
And that's the crazy part about it. Like they won't like the respectable guy that comes in their life.
Because he don't treat them bad.
Yeah, he don't treat them bad. He come in there like, he doing them right, you know what I'm saying, trying to actually take them on dates, trying to actually respect her as a woman. Oh, he too soft.
Yeah.
I don't want him. He too soft.
He ain't about it.
Yeah, he ain't about it. I don't know what he gonna do if we get in a situation. He might get beat up.
Yeah, right. I hear this stuff.
This is the kind of stuff we hear. And it's like, and it's not just the women, it's both sides. Cause even the dudes, like, the dudes ain't being men nowadays. Like, that's a problem too. Like, the dudes, like, they don't want to do nothing and they expect a good woman to fall in their lap, and all they do is smoking all the time, in the club all the time, broke, fat. Like that's all.
How are you supposed to raise a family if you broke and you out of shape?
Broken out of shape. Don't got nothing going for them.
What respectable woman would want to live a life like that?
That's what I'm saying. Like that's why self-evaluation, like we're talking about, that's the key. Like, we keep saying these things and we're breaking it down so you guys can understand. You guys gotta self-evaluate. if you're in that situation, how are you gonna be able to take care of family? Like you said, how? Like, how are you gonna take care of a family?
Yeah.
You broke, you out of shape. What if somebody come in your house and try to take you for everything you got, and you're trying to defend your family, your wife and your kids?
Right.
You fat.
You're scared, and you don't know how to shoot a gun.
You don't know how to shoot a gun.
You're too scared to learn how to.
Yeah, I'm too scared.
Yeah. I don't believe in guns.
I don't believe in guns. Okay. I bet you'll believe.
You're gonna believe in that gun when that jumps to your head, telling me, give me that PS5. Run them pockets. Run that PS5 real quick. Yeah. Let me get that PS5 gift card too while you at it. Pistol whip.
Pistol whip.
Oh man, no, but like you can put the odds in your favor with relationships too, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say you're dating a bum, right? Or let's say you're a dude out there and you're dating some girl who's out here hoeing around, and you say let's say you caught her, whatever.
Yep.
And you can go out there and you can start stacking wins, right? So the rule is talking about this guy Larry Height. Mm-hmm. He's a hundreds of millions of dollars trader, investor, all these things, awesome guy. But the odds were stacked against him whenever he was born. He was born to an extremely poor Jewish family in New York. Lived in a miserable apartment. He was blind in one eye, barely could see out the other. The other eye was dyslexic, so he couldn't read. He was very unathletic, lived a miserable childhood, depressed, very poor, and he became an excellent trader. That's a story for another day. He started taking risks, putting the odds in his favor. He let his winners run, and he cut his losses short. And his approach to dating was what he did. He just went to the mall, and he would find girls that were either on their lunch break or by themselves that were shopping and looked like they were bored. And he would go up to them and he would invite them to coffee, and it would be in a public place at the mall. They felt safe. It was something quick. And then if it went well, 15, 20 minutes, then he would invite them to dinner. He said only about, I think, 1 in 3 of the girls accepted to go to coffee. So and he walked up to hundreds of girls. So, and the thing is, and get this, bro, the bigger your sample size, the more you bet, in the more that you have your odds in your favor, the more you're gonna win. The more you bet, the more you're gonna win. If you can put the odds in your favor, right. even if you're at a disadvantage in this situation, 1 in 3 of the girls said yes. Well, 1 in 3 said yes to coffee that he approached. Let's say 100, right? So 33 women said yes to coffee. Well, out of them, only 1/5 agreed to go to dinner. So now we're at 1/5 of 33, which is like, I don't know, let's just say 5. 5 women agree to go to dinner, right? Out of 100. So now you got 5 girls you take them to dinner. You better do your thing.
Yeah, do your thing. Yeah,
you got to do your thing, right? But that's 5 times more girls that's 5 more than 0.
Yeah. So, like, what I'm getting from that is like, it's the kind of volume, right?
Volume, bro.
Yeah, and that's honestly every factor of life too. But as far as in a relationship, like, if you're out there and you're not constantly trying to put yourself out there and trying to meet new people,
you can respectably date. Yeah, you don't gotta. Let me get my language correct.
Yeah,
you don't have to have sex.
Yeah, you
don't have to have sex with. I was gonna say something. You don't gotta have sex with every woman you run across.
Yeah,
right?
I don't recommend doing that.
That is not
a good way to live.
That is
anybody that can agree to that.
Way to live, bro.
That's not a good way to live.
But the thing is, a lot of guys have the mindset of, you got to try to have sex with all these different women.
That's a young mindset.
Well, yeah, it is. So if you're trying to have sex with all 30, let's say all 5 of the women out of the 100, well, you just knock your odds down even lower of the chance of actually, 1, finding a good woman, and then 2, of also being a respectable person. Like, with my wife, on our first date, I kissed her at the end of the date. I didn't cross no boundaries. I asked for permission to put my hand on her lap, and I was respectable. And we went to it's crazy. We went to a Christian music concert, like a festival at the park for our first date. I treated her like a woman, and on our second date, I was respectable and everything like that. And long story short is I didn't try to overstep my bounds. And guys, whenever you do that, women are actually going to give themselves over to you. Because
don't overstep. Like, be respectable. Like, the modernly, and this is something we see like nowadays. They just promote, you gotta have sex with everybody you see. That's not good.
Yeah.
And you read the Bible, that ain't good to do that either. Like, you supposed to be respectful. Like I said, it's a way to respectfully date. And that's why I agree you all should do it. That's how you really find the one for you. And also, you don't just be looking in the club thinking that's going to be where your woman's going to be at. Like, one book, I was reading a book, it's by Mark Manson.
Oh, you told me about it.
I forgot what it's called.
Oh, snap. You told me about it. Anyways.
Matter of fact,
Google it.
I'm going to Google it real quick for you guys. Cause I feel like you guys need this book.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, it's about, like, relationships and everything like that. And it's a good read. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
So, on that point, though, you know, it is okay to go out there, put yourself out there, get rejected. You know, you're taking a risk of rejection, but...
Oh, it's called Models.
Models
by Mark Manson. It's called Models Attract Women Through Honesty. Basically, it's like being yourself, you know what I'm saying? Being who you truly are. Don't try to put on a front for nobody. Like, you know, some people, they like to act gangster just to get girls, but turn around when the girls start realizing who they really is, they end up leaving.
Think about the kind of girl that attracts, though.
True, that's what I'm saying. And it's crazy. It's like, and also... One thing I took from it, and they said when you are trying to like find a partner, meet them doing something that you like to do. So say you got a hobby, like say you like for example, like you like a wine tasting. Go to something like that and find that'd probably be a better choice than going to the club finding one. Or you like painting or something like that.
Bro.
Go to one of the painting events. And you might see somebody there. Yeah. That's somebody that you got a common
And if she don't
with.
like it, then cool. Then y'all probably ain't gonna get along.
That's what I'm saying. And like just understand that you gotta don't beat yourself up too. Cause like when you go out there, you're gonna get rejected. That's a part of it. It's okay. And it just means you and what Mark Manson's book said is. That just means y'all not compatible.
And you're getting one step closer to that person that you're supposed to be with each rejection. And same with business. Each loss, you're getting one step closer to that win.
Feel like any business store you have seen, they say, okay, we have lost. Most of them say we lost money. Like most time with small businesses, year one they lose. But then year 2 and 3 they start building up and picking up.
It's okay to lose.
It's okay to lose.
Everyone is afraid of losing.
That's what I'm saying. You're gonna lose. Like we can say as a man, whatever. Like it doesn't matter who. Anybody can relate to that. You're gonna lose. And with those, it depends on how you take those losses. You can take those losses and give up. Like I say, if you're in relationships, if you give up after you get rejected, you're just stacking the odds not in your favor because you're not allowing the girl that you need to be with to be found by you.
You're not letting the game play its course.
Yep.
If you're not playing the game, you can't win.
Like I said, you're already at a disadvantage. You're not playing.
Yeah.
Like you start off at a disadvantage. So when you are like actively out here putting yourself out there and actually like when you're doing stuff in life, you got to be okay with taking the losses. Like you got to be like if you take a loss, the loss only helps you propel to the next level. That's how I feel about it, man.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we talked about probability. We get to sports betting after this. Man, okay. So we're gonna take a left turn, and we'll probably clip it a little bit. But, I see gold, crypto, and diversity. So for all the old heads out there who don't know what crypto is, because I know all y'all old heads know about gold. You know, the young bucks, this is going to be good because we're going to teach the young bucks about gold. We're going to teach the old heads about crypto. So what cryptocurrency is think of it as it's obviously just a digital currency. And it's very popular because it is untraceable whenever you purchase something. Right? And cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, for example, just hit an all-time high, $70,000, right? So obviously it's doing something. You don't got to know everything about something before putting money into it. The thing is by the time you get done doing your thesis and your dissertation on this thing, well, guess what? Now the trend's over and you missed your opportunity. Keep your bet small enough to that if you do lose, it's okay.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like that's like with cryptocurrency and stuff like that. You gotta diversify. Don't just be all in on crypto and it goes down or anything like that. That's why I say like with stuff like that, like it's been around for some years and everything like that. I don't know Well, I mean, maybe you might know a little bit more about it, but I don't know what its end utility is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be adapted to be like a currency.
You can use it to. It's a method of payment.
Yeah,
it's a currency.
Yeah.
So I can use it to pay you, and you can use it to pay me for goods and services.
Yeah, but it is untraceable too. That's one thing. So like nobody.
Well, it's decentralized.
It's decentralized.
So the government. Yeah, the government has control. So think about it like this: if I have $1 million in my bank account, and the Federal Reserve, the cartel of the U.S. dollar, decides that they want to print off another trillion something amount of dollars and devalue the dollar by 10% like they did in 2020 and 2021. Well, now my $1 million is now only $900,000, right? But let's say in that same time, my $1 million in Bitcoin, it probably rose in value by 30-40%. So now my Bitcoin is worth more, and now my dollars is worth less. If you're keeping all of your money in the dollar, you're gonna lose because you're not diversified. Don't keep all your eggs in one basket, right? So that's crypto. I don't want to go too deep into that because you can learn it for yourself. It's cool.
I say you gotta definitely learn it for yourself. Like I said, we might do a whole episode.
I personally am invested in cryptocurrency. Personally, like I said, this ain't investment advice. Do what you want.
Do what you want.
Bet on horses and dogs. Or, I don't care what you bet on, but. I like cryptocurrency personally. Yeah. It's a very small portion of my portfolio, no more than 5%, because I'm willing to lose that 5%, whatever. But let's just say it's doing really well for me right now. Gold is doing even better for me right now. So gold, the reason why gold is going up is because the Federal Reserve said that they may cut interest rates in 2024.
That's what I heard too.
Whenever interest rates are cut, that devalues the dollar because now the dollar yields less in savings. Whenever the dollar goes down, gold goes up. And the dollar has been tanking lately, especially against other currencies like the pound and the euro. But gold, especially, gold has been rising in relation to the dollar a lot. Gold just hit an all-time high. So there's a lot of ways to get exposure to gold. I'm gonna I'll go ahead and say some. I'm not saying that you need to go do this. I'm just gonna tell you what I am doing and some ways I am getting exposure to the gold market. One is futures and futures options on gold. That's a little bit more risky. A really safe way to do it is an ETF, an electronic traded fund. GLD is one on the stock market. Then there's another one if you wanted to have a little bit more leverage called JNUG, JNUG. That one is up very big. I think it's like up 20-something%. Like I said, look into it, do your research. I don't care what you do, but that's what I'm doing. But yeah, man, I think
that's pretty good.
I think we got it, man.
So on this next segment, we're gonna bring in Joe, and he's gonna be discussing a lot of
everything. Joe, me and Joe get riled up.
It's gonna be a blast. So we're gonna catch you guys on there.
We got my brother Joseph Robichaud, visiting us from California, San Diego.
Way out there.
All right, y'all. So we're just gonna hop right into it. Me and Joe, we were just having an awesome conversation with Rashed, and he was giving us a tip on budgeting. And it just happened that this tip is also in The Richest Man in Babylon and also Rich Dad Poor Dad. Joe didn't even know that. He just started telling me about it. I was like, bro, I swear I heard that before. So the principle is called paying yourself first. Joe, could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, Kurt, no problem. I'm actually bringing up the budget that I use right now. I made a budget myself. Spent some time with Excel. Took an Excel class just to kind of get familiar with the inner workings with it, creating formulas and things like that, so that basically all I have to do is put in the numbers and it adjusts for me.
Yeah.
All said and done. But the big thing for me is, I pay myself first every month. So when that money comes in, I throw, for right now, budgetary concerns, I throw about 20% of my income directly in, whether that be about $1,000 or $1,200 at the beginning of every month, go straight in my savings account, directly from my checking. Then I pay my bills. And the idea behind it is when you pay yourself first, you're creating almost like a motor skill. It's like when somebody practices basketball, they don't just start shooting 3-pointers. They run the layups first. They they start hitting that basket, they start hitting the board. And it's kind of similar in the sense that when you're going into your budget and you see, I paid myself $1,200 this month. Okay, that's not saying that I don't have any income that I can take from that. The idea is just building that skill to start with. The big thing for me is I know that my savings account that I have currently, it only allows me to withdraw from it twice a month. So what I'm essentially doing is I'm saying, hey, if I don't stick to my budget, I need to think the next 15, 20 days out and say, because I have my base minimum. My base minimum for me is $500 a month that gets saved, that I pay myself. That $500 a month is the bottom line. If I need to work around, if I need to eat less, if I need to play less or whatever the thing is, take a night out, and throw it in the trash and eat at home, I just got to do it that way. So the big thing for me is I never go below 500. But that's not to say, sometimes I have to use some of that 1,200, right? But the idea is, I get two withdrawals from that account. So when I go back after all of my bills are paid and I say, okay, it's Valentine's Day, or it's my girlfriend's birthday, or I just had a big achievement. I kind of want to go out for the night with my girlfriend, I look at my budget and say, how does this work? I go and run down my entire budget and I look at all these numbers and I say, okay, you know what? I'm going to need an extra 300 from that 1,200 I put away. I'm still above my baseline. And now I only have one more withdrawal. So it's like, I'm not going to just go ahead and use that. So now I'm thinking further ahead in my budget and I'm forcing myself to kind of get into this systematic routine, which has just increased my ability to invest. It's increased my ability to save money, max out my IRA every year, because I'm purposefully, that's the key right there, is I'm purposefully putting that money to me first. I earn the money, so I need to pay myself first. Like your boss might pay your salary, right? But I guarantee you he's thinking, I got to pay myself first this month. I can't feed these employees. I can't take care of these people unless if I feed myself first. And so, I do kind of remember a little bit, because I read The Richest Man in Babylon. I read that, maybe 6 years ago when you recommended the book to me. It's like Kirkley and I were these fresh little green-eyed boots running around the Navy, and I meet him on FX, and I think it was like a week after we got back. He's like, dude, it's a short read. It's a short read. You got to try out this book. So I do remember reading that. I don't really remember all of the principles, but through guided deep work, all of these books we read, Atomic Habits, Think and Grow Rich, like these books are just, you're not going to remember everything, but they stick. There's certain key aspects that stick, because subconsciously we're constantly taking in what we see in real time. And, those are one of those principles that once you build that, it's like a motor skill. Like the first thing, dude, the money hits my bank account, the first thing I do is I throw that money in savings. I paid myself. Now I go to my budget. Now I sit down, I look at the bills. Okay. And I don't know if I can actually share the screen. I have a little workup of something that I had work in progress. Let me go ahead and share my screen really quick. Oh, well, it's not letting me share. I can send it to you. We'll figure that out.
Is it for permission?
But, basically, I go through and I've got everything very systematic, right? I have my monthly expenses, and then I have my cards, my credit cards, my PayPal accounts, things like that. And then I go to my additional monthly expenses, and I've organized it this way so that I'm going in order. I pay myself, my savings account and my savings balance and my investment balances are at the top of my budget. I'm paying myself first. I am internalizing the first thing I see on my budget is my savings and my investments. It's the first thing I see every time I open it up. Then I go down to my monthly expenses. You've got rent, you've got utilities, I've got the mortgage on the house, I've got the bills for the house, the HOA payment, insurances, renter's insurance, all of these all of that main stuff that I need to make sure that I'm cutting the checks to at the beginning of the month. And then I go down to my cards, and this is where I check my statement balances. So I've been able to hook up my bank to the point where I'm notified of my monthly statements from every credit card, right? And so that way I don't forget, because we all know you should have about 4 or 5 credit cards. You should be using your points to benefit you, right? They all have different systems, so we use different cards. I every month when those statement balances ping my phone, I go into my budget, I put those balances in, and then those are all paid off, right? And so now that leaves me with my additional monthly expenses. That's food, shopping, going out. I like to game. I throw my Steam, how much did I spend on Steam this month, And, things like your security system for your computer, just like all those little things, they get put in additional monthly expenses. These are things we can live without, all right? Well, maybe not the food, but you get the gist, right? Or we can cut back on. There are things you can live without or you can cut back on. And once we go through that, this is where the first part comes into play. If I see that I have a negative balance at the bottom, I take that adjusted amount, I pull it from that savings, and now I stick to my budget. And that's the second key part of it, is you have to stick to your budget. Like, if you don't stick to the budget, why pay yourself first? Yeah. Right? Why do you care? You clearly don't care about your finances at that point. You don't care about your own success, because you're putting yourself in a position where you're not working through the steps and in order to achieve what your ultimate goal is. And that's to, live comfortably, to have this savings, to have this equity put into investments. And if you don't mind, I'll go over the last little bit. Once I'm done with my month, I have a calculation. Again, I'll send it to you so you can show your viewers. I have a calculation at the bottom, and it takes my total disposable after taxes. So I've worked in my tax rate, and I've worked in, what my adjustment is, and it's based on a different sheet that takes the house, the rental property I have, and it calculates how much I owe in taxes after I plug in how much I've spent. So basically every quarter I go through my budget and I see, okay, this is what I need 3 months to live. This is 3 months of survival right here, right? If I'm over that 3 month portion on my budget, on my savings, if I'm over that 3 month threshold, all of that extra, that disposable, we call it disposable income, goes straight into investments. It goes straight over to my financial advisor. It gets put into the mutual funds, the ETFs, the dividends that are yielding the most for me. It immediately goes to him, and he is directed to put that money where it best satisfies my 20-year plan, my 30-year plan, my 10-year plan, right? And my financial interests. So that's kind of the breakdown of how I do my budget, and not just, being able to see it, obviously, but how I view my budget, right? And then I've got a couple other cost calculators in there. I look at like the interest rate on my vehicle. I look at a couple interest rates on liabilities. And then those interest rates are calculated to see what my interest rate has been every quarter with my investment account. And if I'm negative, I put more money into investments. I pay more off those bills. I try to decrease that liability. So that way I'm always positive. I'm always bringing in a better interest rate than I'm paying the bank.
So, that's beautiful. I like that.
That is.
You're gonna have to send those calculations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
there's quite a few free ones. So you can definitely take advantage of it. Bigger Pockets Podcast, those guys over there, they have some really cool free cost calculators that you can, once you understand the formula. My biggest thing though is that people listening really, really want to take charge of their finances. I know this might sound crazy to some. Go take an Excel class. LinkedIn gives you free Excel classes. Local community colleges offer free Excel classes. You can literally go learn how to use these systems that are on everybody's computer. And if you have a Microsoft, you pay. If you're paying $60 for Word, you're also getting Excel. Right. So just take advantage of these systems. They make our lives easier. And if you are worried about paying for Excel, well, think about it. You can now create a budget where you can figure out how to afford Excel. Right. And so you know, I when I was younger, I really didn't think any of this was possible. I was like, I was born poor. I'm always gonna be poor, you know, and I'm always gonna be broke. And then I realized that, like, you know, if I'm throwing an extra $20 a year, really, I think it's like $30 a year to have Excel, or $60 a year to have Excel, and you break that down monthly, do you really need the Netflix subscription? Because they're about the same. If you take that $69 a month and or that $60 a month or whatever it is, and you divide it out, you're paying more for Netflix every month.
Yeah, right.
So, you know, again, it's really just how bad you want to do it. This took me a few months to really get the hang of, but it really only took me that one Excel class to learn the inner workings of Excel. I am a little bit fortunate because I'm taking accounting right now, and you know, it's only like bolstered my ability to work on this and add formulas in and create better processes. But the reality is this basic, you know, budget that I built like a year ago, I did with no knowledge, right? I did it with a couple of YouTube videos. I took advantage of people putting free crap up on their social media and the internet, and I looked at it and I said, how do I make it tailored to me?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's about it, guys.
Bro, Harvard has free coding courses.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Dude, like,
I heard about that.
25 hours of like an actual professional sitting there teaching you how to code.
Mm-hmm.
There was this one, I saw this interview of Graham Stephan and this like 19-year-old who didn't go to school.
Mm-hmm.
He learned how to code off the internet, and he got hired by Google to do code with Google. Like, it's insane. You can learn anything just on the internet now, man.
Mm-hmm.
So there's really no excuse. And, you know, I don't know if did we talk about the cost of living and everything last time, about how, yes, the cost of living has gone up, but also there's a lot more ways to make money. I don't know.
I think
we talked about that a little bit.
Yeah,
well, you want to transition into like internet money, like, and everything, like.
Yeah. So I do feel that internet money is a new thing now, because it's so many opportunities to make money, man.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like, I'm seeing people now, like, even doing like barbering and stuff. That's normally it's a cash business. Like, you know, like, you get money, they give you the money.
It's a 1 for 1.
1 for 1.
1 hour, it's like 1 hour equals this much. You know, it's not scalable.
It's not
unless
scalable.
You own the shop.
Yeah, it's not. That's the only way that business is scalable.
Right.
Even like the doing hair business, all that. Most of that business is only scalable if you own the shop.
Right.
But now people are starting to go online, make YouTube channels doing tutorials of cutting hair. Okay, now you just went from you taking physical time, taking your hours out your day to cut hair, to you making videos, and the videos can turn you into money. Like, if people making 10 grand a month off of making videos and tutorials about doing barbers. Well, that's the crazy part about it.
An example would be like, let's say you charge $50.
Yeah.
You know, how to cut hair, right? Okay, cool. Well, why you sit there and cut somebody's hair for $30 in that same hour, your video on TikTok or Facebook could have made you more with a click of a button. And the thing is it's think of it like digital real estate. You put that out there and it works for you. You don't got to go make a whole bunch. And you don't got to do a whole lot else.
And that's the crazy part about it, because like, I'm a real estate agent as well. So as a realtor, if you're making content, you cannot be actively prospecting all the time of the day. It's impossible.
It's impossible because you're not prospecting right now.
Right, yeah.
But this is going to prospect for you.
This is going to prospect for you. See what I'm saying? This video exists on the internet 24 hours of the day. So people all around can see your content, and it's actively prospecting.
If you think about it, these big companies are almost working in your favor. Of course, there's a lot of negativity, but let's look at the bright side of this. Yes, they are, you know, they don't have our best interests in mind a lot of the times, these big social media companies. But once you put something out there, you have powerful algorithms working in your favor. If you are doing this to create wealth, you know, so like an example would be, let's go back to the barber example, a traditional job that, you know, normally is a labor, you know,
labor job,
not a whole lot, you know,
scalability,
unless you're own the shop. But let's say you teach people how to cut their own hair, right? Well, you go on TikTok shops, and you can do it where you sell courses on TikTok.
You sell courses on TikTok.
And you can do it for like, let's say you do it for like $20, right? And one thing that you could do, because it's funny that me and Rashed actually just started cutting our own hair, funny enough. We did the math. it was costing us about $35 every 2 weeks to cut our hair.
Yeah,
just for simplicity's sake, let's just say $30 every 2 weeks, right?
If you're out here in San Diego, that's roughly about 55 is like the minimum you could find for a good
think about that.
Let's say it's 40. Let's say the national average 40. Meet in the middle at 40.
Meet in the middle
right?
at 40. Yeah.
So that's $80 a month.
Yeah.
Right. And bro, guys be talking about their women spending money. Most of the dudes that watch this video go get their hair cut every couple weeks. So don't y'all be talking about the woman spending too much money. Mackenzie gets her hair done once a year. I love it. Yeah. She's awesome. So if you spend $80 a month on getting your hair cut, bro, that is like over $800 a year. That's like 800. That's like $900 and something dollars a year. Let's just say $900 a year. So $900 a year. It costs $960. 960. That's a band. That's $1,000.
Round out a band.
It costs me $40 to buy clippers and $20 to buy the little mirror, which is really even more than you really need. So $60 all in, and it's $20 to replace the clips. I replace the clippers, the sharp part, once a year. So we're talking maybe like $80 a year?
$80 a year. You went from
960.
Yeah, 960, roughly a band, to now what, 60?
Yep. And the thing is, if we clip this, and we were like, hey, we could even turn it into a pitch.
Yeah.
Let me show you how to save $1,000 a year by cutting your own hair. We make a 30-second reel or clip. We show pictures of us get like a clean fade and stuff. We actually show people how to cut their own hair. All right, well, I'll only charge you a quarter of how much you're going to save a year. $250.
And that's how it really be. And,
you can do that on social media.
You really can do that. And that's a crazy part about it. If any business is scalable with social media, anything, like any tradition.
Bro, cutting grass. How to start your own lawn care business.
I'll be seeing people doing the pressure washing and stuff. They be making videos of them pressure washing and all that. Well, they be like, man, I made 6 figures doing pressure washing.
It's all about how to.
Yeah. Get my course and I can show you how to do the same thing and build up and get the funding and everything. So it's all about how to.
And not to mention the opportunity cost, right? Because, when we talk about, not to go full circle, but like we go back to the budget, right? When I'm looking at, every quarter, when I'm looking at how much money do I have to invest? If I'm spending, over the course of 10 years, if I'm spending 10 grand on haircuts, that
I never thought about that. 10 years.
Let's really add it up. That's 10 grand over the course of 10 years. Now 10 years at a 6% yield, right? Like we're looking at lost opportunity cost. You're 21 years old. You want to look at the lost opportunity cost of 10 grand over the course of 10 years.
Run it.
At a 6% interest rate, man, dude, you're losing out on a lot of money, right? And so when we really break down the numbers, we've got to figure out where we need to cut spending and where we need to find ways to make money, because you're not going to make this money at a W-2 job. Those days are over.
No, it's over with.
Grandma and grandpa, mom and dad could go work at a factory. Shit, our mom and dad could go work at a factory for 25, 30 years, right? And they could have the boat. They could have had the house. They could have had the 2 cars and the truck to pull the boat, and they could have had all these things, making $80,000 a year, $60,000 a year, whatever it was. These factory jobs until the inflation really hit in the 70s, and even after that, I mean, they still had so many buying opportunities for things, and the cost of living was still relatively low. Wages have been stagnant for 40 years. Right. So the reality is you have to find ways to cut costs and get rid of these luxuries. This emerging market with the online money you talk about, we can really break it down. We could get more specific with it. It's really finding ways to help people save money. If you can teach a tangible skill, you're going to make money on the internet. That's it. It's that simple. You're going to make money if you have a tangible skill, if you can teach somebody a skill that allows them to produce content or get in there and actually provide a service that betters somebody's life in the sense that, hey, you got to cut back here. Dude, you're going to make money on the internet. That's the emerging market, is finding ways at this point to help people cut costs of living. And that's huge. There's a huge economy.
Cut your food budget in half.
Yeah, how to cut your food. The thing is, even real estate. Like, I know people that do coaching in real estate and all that kind of stuff. they make a killing doing that because they're telling you how to go out there and go do the thing with the investing and finding homes and all that. They make a killing doing that. Like I said, it's a market for that how to right now. Like if you know a skill, it's a market.
So, Joe, do you want to take a shot at what a haircut every 2 weeks would look like? The average haircut, the national average for the price of a haircut every 2 weeks.
I want to take a shot at it. I want to say it's
invested
haircut.
Yeah, after 10 years.
For men's haircut, the national average?
So the national average we calculated was about 40, but so the stock market average is in between 7 and 9%. So in the middle of that, we're going to say 8%. So $1,000 a year after 10 years at 8% is $16,000. That's a lot of money, yeah, but time and interest is really what scales it, is the time. So let's go to
losing that opportunity cost.
Well, let's go to 30 years. Let's say you want to retire in your 50s. $123,000.
Off of the same money that you're spending every 2 weeks to get a haircut.
And get this too though. There's a lot of women out there, guys too, but let's just be honest, it's girls mostly.
Yeah.
Like Starbucks.
I thought you were tabling that one.
Say what?
I thought you were tabling that one.
No, dude, Starbucks.
Let's not talk about the ladies.
Ladies get it too. Let's go.
So they spend way more, dude. They spend way more.
Bro, Starbucks though is what I'm talking about, bro.
Yeah,
See, Starbucks is very smart. They got a Starbucks at Huntsville Hospital, bro. Mm-hmm. My wife tells me that like most of her coworkers, every couple hours, let's go get Starbucks. They got their own little card. They just swipe it, and it like charges it, just takes it directly out of their account. And
Starbucks is smart. They became a bank.
Yeah. So what? $5 a day.
$5 a day
times 5. A normal work week 5. So that's 25. That's $100 a month. Dang, they got us beat with the haircuts.
You don't get to talk about with the ladies, like how much they pay to get their hair done. Like someone like $200-$300, and they get them done every like 2 months.
Those are the kind of women you want to stay away from. If you're a young man out there,
I promise you.
Hear me out. If you're a young man out there and you want to be wealthy, a woman that will spend all your money is the worst thing that you can do. It's the worst thing that you can run across, bro.
I need my hair done. I need my nails.
Find you a woman that is, in Benjamin Franklin says it best, industry and frugality. If you can find a woman that works hard and she's frugal, dude, that's the key to wealth right there. Not only that, but what's the point, dude? If I make $150,000 a year and my wife spends $130,000 a year on bullcrap, well, now I've only got 20 grand left. Now I'm no better than the guy at McDonald's. I'm not going to throw any names out there, but the highest paid guy in my general area, let's just say that.
I get what you're saying, though. I dated a girl that spent $93,000 a year on Uber.
Yeah, I remember.
She was rich. I mean, she was very wealthy. But the reality is, when you hear somebody boast about spending $93,000 a year on Uber, I don't care how much money you were left from your parents in a trust, that's not going to last long. If you're spending that on Uber, now you got to sit there and think, what else are you spending a ridiculous amount of money on? Because there's no way in hell. There's no way in hell you're only spending money on Uber.
Bro, stories like that is how generational wealth is squandered. I think, what is it? Fact check me. Is what 90% of first generation of millionaires in America are first generation. The reason for that is because most of the time the wealth is squandered by the next generations, because the son goes out and he spends daddy's money and he gets him a girl who also spends daddy's money. Next thing you know, they're broke. Like tell that story about at the job that you're leaving, where people be like, yeah, man, I ain't got no money because my wife spent all my money.
Yeah. So, like working in like manufacturing and stuff like that, you hear a lot of different stories. Yeah, one of the stories I heard was that somebody was saying, yeah, man, my wife get all my money just because, he said, I'm married. I don't have no money. My check goes directly to her.
It goes direct. He pays his wife first.
Yeah,
he don't pay himself first.
Yeah, he said
he pays his wife first, bro.
I was like, why you still doing this? He said, man, I don't have no money like that, man. My check go directly to her, man. Once you got a wife and kids, you don't have no money no more. That's the biggest work to give it to her.
Can you believe that some dude tried to tell Rashed that once you have a wife and kids, you don't got no money no more? His goal should be to give it to her. Can you believe
Get this. Okay, according to NASDAQ's according to www.nasdaq.com, articles on generational wealth, 70% of wealthy families will lose their generational wealth by the second generation.
By the second
so
by the third,
70% of these first-time millionaires, these first-time generational wealth creators, will lose their wealth by the next generation.
Yeah, that's not gonna be tough every time.
90% will lose it by the third, which means you have a 10% window of individuals that lose it after the third generation.
That's how important financial literacy is.
Well, and it's the Rockefeller versus the Rothschilds, right? Why do you think the Rothschilds are still so wealthy? Because everything's trust based. They don't get the physical cash. They don't receive the physical money. It's generational wealth that has been passed down through the whole trust, the trust ownership. Rockefellers lost their generation by their third generation, lost all that wealth. Rockefellers were up there with the Rothschilds, and the Rockefellers, boom, dead broke, third generation, right? Because and like you said, financial literacy, but the reality is it's also, how do you teach your kids? What are you teaching your kids? You know, I mean, this is I might be the generational change in my family line, where I'm working on succession and I'm working on generational wealth as we speak, as where my the predecessor, the ancestor before me, predecessors of my family before me, whatever you want to say, they never worked on this stuff. You know, my grandpa was a good man, great man, very like minimalistic lifestyle. Loved his life, loved his kids, loved his grandkids. My dad's a very successful man, no generational wealth, but a very successful man. And, is it my turn? But how am I going to set it up so that I don't squander the hard work that I put in for generations to come? And we could probably do another episode just on trust, right? The whole idea behind building a trust and where is that? But I mean, it really is crazy to think about. 90% of generational wealth is lost by the third generation.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's just, and then you wonder why America has the highest, the highest average of, first-time millionaires, first generational wealth, right? I mean, these people that come in and they find that success, they use free market capital, they use venture capital to their benefit. Well, because you're just picking up the scraps from the third generation. I mean, there's money to be made out there. So when people try to have conversations with me, like, it's so messed up, it's this, it's that, I'm like, read a book, because
here, let me throw something out there real quick. Hold on. So I want to ask y'all this.
Yeah.
How many books in a year does the average CEO read?
200, right? 100, 200. It's almost close to over 100.
The average reads a book a week at 56 a year.
Right.
So, and Joe, fact check me on that, please, if you can. So that means, on the higher end, we're in the hundreds for the most CEOs, but on the lower end of CEOs, they're still in like the 30s or the 40s. So if you were to go out and you were to take a walk down the street, and, screw that. Let's just say people that at your job that are
60 books. It says 60 books per year.
60. Okay, cool. So
5 books a month.
Yep. So if you were to, walk through Walmart, right? And if you were to just gather everyone there who happened to be complaining that day, let's say 10 random people, right? How many books do you think that the average person walking down the street, walking into Walmart, McDonald's, how many books a year do you think they read? I don't got time.
Yeah, they always say they ain't got time, nigga.
I got kids.
I ain't got time to read no book. I gotta play with
That's why you should be reading a book. And like, dude, honestly, I believe the wealth gap, part of the reason there's a wealth gap, it's because of, it's a knowledge gap.
Yeah,
it's an effort gap.
Yeah, it's a knowledge and effort gap. That's it.
I guarantee you, if I were to take a homeless man who maybe he's strung out on drugs, if he got cleaned up, and he read one book a week, bro, he would be better off. Bro, he would be rich in a few years.
Better off.
Seriously.
I just dropped a few of my old books off to a guy that lives down the street. He's homeless as shit. I go to Costco. Every time I go to Costco, I pass this guy. He's on the side of the road, and he does not beg for money. He has a sign up, and it says, Oh, I shit you not. I can't make it. I'll try and get a picture for you guys next time I go by him. He's out there every Friday evening and Saturday during the day and Sunday mornings. And this guy's got a sign that says, struggling, homeless, please donate a book or give me money for books.
Dude, so did you give
My
him?
goal is to read as much as possible. Like, this guy's out there he's crazy, man. I love talk. I stop by, I drop off some books, and I'm talking to the guy, and he's like, I got a hold of a phone, one of those free phones that the government's giving out or whatever. He's like, I got a hold of a phone, and I was reading that the average CEO, I shit you not, the average CEO reads X, Y, and Z. I don't remember what he said, but X amount of books every year. And I was like, huh. I was like, you trying to be a CEO? And he's like, I sure the hell ain't. He goes, I sure the hell ain't trying to live out here anymore. and so, you know, I gave him some of my old books. He was super grateful. I was like, are you eating? Like, are you good? He's like, yeah, I'm taking care of myself for the most part. You know, I'm trying to get a job, this and that. And I get that there are extenuating circumstances, right? I get that there's some good, knowledgeable, hardworking people out there. They got the shit under the stick. They got beat down by life. Yes. And, you know, they're out here. And, you know, out here in California, we have the worst homelessness problem in the country. I mean, I see this shit on a daily basis. And, you know, I would say only about a few of them I see seem to try. You know, they're not trying to be there. Right, the rest don't care. And the sad part is, I think you can fact check me on this, but from what I last heard, roughly about 40% are veterans. You know, because they're not getting taken care of. And I'm a huge proponent of that. I've been working very closely with some people. My buddy Brendan Sear, Kirkley and I worked with him in the Navy. Yeah, shit end of the stick. Man got screwed by the Navy. And you know what? He's dedicated his entire life to fixing the system. You know, and that to me, I mean, this man's on his deathbed. Okay, I'll come on, say it. He's said it himself. He's on his deathbed and he works nonstop at changing the system. That kind of drive and work ethic, whether it promotes him or not, is the type of work ethic we all need. If I was gonna die tomorrow, right? What would I do with that? If I knew that I was going to die soon, what would I do with that? You know, I mean, we don't ask ourselves these questions. And when you say that knowledge gap, it's not just that, but you're right. The ethic, the work hard. You know, I'd rather go live comfortable, sit my fat ass on the couch, watch that third episode of whatever, right? And work my W-2 job and bitch about the government, because that's a hell of a lot easier than coming to terms with the fact that I'm a lazy piece of shit. Right? That's it. And whether this hurts people's feelings or not, I don't care. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the 1% of people that I want to be like. Right. And the reality is if you are sitting there and you are complaining nonstop about how the government's screwing you over, and I'm not sitting here saying that the government isn't screwing you over, because they're talk about lazy. To come full circle, because I kind of lost a little bit of my point, but you know, look, we've got a few things, right? You know, you've got this individual that I see outside of Costco, just begging for books, you know, to educate himself. Mm-hmm. You know, my buddy who's dying due to causes completely out of his control, mm-hmm. working nonstop, round the clock to better, you know, the veteran society and to better the veterans programs for other individuals so that things like this don't happen again. And then you've got people that sit at home and bitch and complain. Like, I get it. I have a lot of discontent when it comes to how our government operates and does things. Don't get me wrong. You want to talk about lazy people? Look at Washington, okay? Bunch of lazy, corrupt, whatever you want to call them. Doesn't matter what side you're on. I'm so tired of the side argument. That's just another crutch. Oh, it's the left's fault. Oh, it's the right's fault. That is an inner issue that you have. That is an inner issue that when you're blaming one side against the other, oh, I'm all Republican or I'm all Democrat. It's this left, right, push, pull. It's the same bullshit you spew at home when you say, oh, it's my boss's fault. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's my wife's fault. Oh, it's my kid's fault. They kept me up. So what, man? The reality is you spend more time blaming other people for your own inadequacies, for your own laziness, right? There's a man living on the streets begging for books when he should be begging for food, right? The mindset is different. And I'm not sitting here trying to go beyond this idea of reality, right? We all understand life gets tough at times. We've all been through some shit. We're at that point in our lives, especially at our age, Kirk, we faced our adversity. We've dealt with things out of our control that push us back. I've been in debt. I've been pushed to the brink of possible bankruptcy, at a time where it would have been awful, right? And so the reality is, not to say that bankruptcy is not awful all the time, but it would have exacerbated ongoing issues that I already had. The problem is we a lot of times, and not to our own fault, but sometimes our parents, bringing us up in this sense where we can blame other people. We believe that those things that are out of my control, not my fault. Well, yes, in a sense, but when you hit a certain age, you got to realize it's time to wake up and say, okay, yeah, that's out of my control, but the way I reacted was piss poor.
Yeah.
I reacted poorly. I didn't do my job. And what's my job? To handle it with grace, to handle it with responsibility, to take charge of the stick even when it's beating you, right? And that's the reality, right? I mean, you just can't blame the government for every problem that you have, as easy as it might be sometimes. Trust me, I catch myself. I see some of this stuff going on in the world, and I want to lose my freaking brain because I have the ability, right, to think for myself. And I hate both sides of the spectrum. Right? I'm tired of the left, I'm tired of the right.
That's like whenever people put the gas and they're like, thanks Biden, thanks Obama, or like thanks Trump. It's like, I ain't voting for him. He ain't done nothing for us.
Yeah.
It's because everyone's just waiting for someone to come and just save the day, bro. Like, it's ridiculous.
Everybody wants a handout.
Everyone wants a handout. And like to the point about control, and like you can't control what happens to you. The only thing you can control is your reaction and your mindset. That's the only thing you can control.
Yeah.
But Joe, I know you got to get going. Dude, super grateful you came on. Really got some golden nuggets from you, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. One last point before I leave.
Yeah.
When I said that to get people to just ask themselves a question, like, what are you going to do if you knew that you were going to die? So we'll make it easy for this concept, right? A month from now, I'm going to die. What are you going to do? It's a huge question, but it's also really simple. You got to ask yourself that why every day. You got to bring up that why. Why am I doing the budget? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? It's to, when you better yourself, people, for some reason nowadays, people align bettering yourself with selfishness. Like, wow, I should put myself first. Like, yeah, I get it. You got kids, and I get it. You got a wife, right? I get it. It's very easy for you to sit there and be like, oh, I'm doing this for my kids. I'm doing this for this. I'm doing this for again. But again, it's that same exact, to me, it's the same exact concept. I think of it the same. It's the same as me blaming the government for my problems. It's the same as blaming my boss for not paying me enough. Is the same as me saying I'm doing it for my kids, or I'm doing it for my wife, or I'm doing it for this reason. No. The reason I'm doing this is to better myself so that when I present myself to the world, I have a better impact on the people that surround me. Therefore, I'm making society better.
Yeah.
I have to take care of myself. I have to do the right thing by me so that when I go out into the world, I present a better person. I present a better self. That's it. Somebody listening is like, damn, how does he have all that stuff? It's like, it's easy to say, oh, he's selfish. Oh, he doesn't, he's blame this person. No, I do it for me so that I can take care of the people around me.
Yeah.
Right. And whether that's putting on a better, a better person that comes out of the room because I'm happy with the decisions that I made. So I'm happier when I interact with people and they get that sense of happiness from me, or simply just giving away knowledge. But I don't sit there and try to preach to everybody. Well, when somebody says, hey man, like, how did you acquire that rental property? How did you do this? Well, do you really want to learn? Sure. Okay, well, let's have a conversation. It's that simple, because I have the time now to go out and do better things and to do more for others and myself and potentially my future family, right? Because I put myself first, not in the sense that I'm going to walk all over you, but I'm going to make myself a better person.
I think I know what you're saying. You're pretty much, I heard it like this: you can't save someone from drowning if you don't know how to swim.
Mm-hmm.
You can't save someone from drowning if you don't know how to swim.
Don't know how to swim, yeah.
You know,
The simplest way to put it, man. All right, it really is. You know, and as cliche as it is, it's so true. It's so true. People don't like a depressed, pissed off you. Right? They want the best you.
you got to show up the best version of
If you
yourself.
can make the best you, man, that's it.
Mhm.
That's it. You go out into the world and you're gonna, and not even that, but you know the interactions you have with people when you network.
Yeah, and then
You
the
know?
one thing about kids is that I'm telling you, personal development. Your kids should inspire you to be a better
Be
person.
a better person.
They shouldn't be a reason. Like, I work with somebody that says, "Oh, she's always complaining about her fitness and how she can't go to the gym."
Yeah.
I'm like,
that.
I say exactly what she doesn't want to hear. Have you tried getting up earlier? Oh, well, my kids. And I'm like, I'm thinking in the back of my head, you should want to be healthy, because that's more time, more years on this earth that you get to spend with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that should be a
Not to
motivation.
mention, how are your kids gonna grow? They see mom. They come out of their bedroom. They're done doing their stuff. She yelled at them, "Get your ass in the shower," whatnot. I get it. My sister's got 4 kids. It's not a cakewalk, like, by any means.
Mhm.
But if they come out and they see that mom's already got breakfast there, and you say, "Go eat your breakfast," and she's out there doing a workout, she's in there doing a workout. What
Man.
happens when that one kid says, "Mom, can I work out with you?"
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Kids are just, dude, they just pull it all in.
kids need structure.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this individual is very unstructured. So, you know, if you're unstructured and you're all over the place and you're not taking care of yourself, how do you expect people to respect you? Or how do you expect to be a leader in your home? You know? So, like, one more thing though, like, before you have to go, Joe, I would say one thing that you have to do as a man definitely is take care of yourself and, you know, take care of your body,
Mhm.
because if you're not taking care of yourself, then you're setting an awful example for those around you. You got to be a leader in your life,
Right.
you know, and people look up to you.
Mhm.
People look up to all of us,
Right.
you
What
know.
are you really saying? Be the lighthouse.
Be a lighthouse, bro, not a tugboat.
Mhm.
You got a lot of people out here trying to be a tugboat. You know,
Mhm.
whenever I think Rob Dial, we got that from Rob Dial. We love Rob. I say Rob like he's my buddy or something. No, he has a really good podcast called The Mindset Mentor, and he made an analogy. He's like, you know, be a lighthouse, not a tugboat. A lighthouse is, you know, they do their thing and they guide way more ships into the harbor with their light. And then what happens a lot of the time is you have to have some tugboats sometimes go out there, and the tugboats just push on them and they exert all this energy, and the lighthouse is just chilling, shining the light, you know. And then a biblical reference, you know, Jesus tells us to be a light on the hill.
Mhm.
You know, he says that you don't have a light on the hill just to put something on top of it just to hide that light. And then one more thing is like, and then I'm just, my buddy told me about this the other day. He actually sent me a verse. God did not give us a spirit of timidity,
Hmm.
of being timid. He wants us to be strong and courageous. It says that in Joshua.
Hmm.
So you got to be bold, courageous, you know, being like timid and like shy and all that stuff. That is actually, and that's something that I struggled with growing up. It's from the enemy. It comes from inferiority
Mhm.
and all these. You got to be bold and courageous. You know, you got to be a leader in your life, in your everyday life, especially if you're in a relationship, because guys out here, you know, letting their women walk all over them, and then they complain about it. Well, how are you showing up? You're 300 pounds.
Yep.
You know, you don't know how to defend yourself. If I wanted to walk up and just kick your ass,
Mhm.
you know, like, you got to know how to use your hands.
Change a flat, dude.
You don't know how to change the flat.
You change a flat tire, you gotta call AAA, man. Oh, I gotta call AAA.
Not a AAA, man.
Dude, you're gonna have another grown ass man come out and do your shit for you.
Right?
Hey, you know, that really reminded me. I do have to go, but
Yeah.
this is important. I was leaving a music festival one time, and I'm walking past a group of individuals struggling to change the flat on this car. And they had the jack not perpendicular where the notch actually came into the frame. They had it parallel. So the frame's sitting over the notch like this. You have the notch here, and it's sitting I'm like, these, and there's 3 girls jacking up the car, and there's 5 dudes standing off to the side.
So they're looking, being sorry.
Men out there. This is 100% for you. Raise your fucking sons. I mean, this is ridiculous. I'm sorry, that's the first thing that popped into my head. Raise your sons. I mean, for God's sakes, these girls are about to kill themselves. And I changed the flat in 8 minutes, maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Done.
And you were the man after that. You honestly probably could have got all of their numbers if you wanted to. After that.
But see, and a man doesn't do that. Another thing for men out there: stop chasing tail.
Yeah, right. You didn't do it because you're a real man. You could have.
I'll be honest. I'll be vulnerable right now. I just destroyed my early 20s chasing tail, man.
Joe, no way. Get at that.
Chasing yes, sir. Chasing tail. And it was stupid. Now I look back and I'm like, God, you know what I could have done with that money? You know what I could have done with my self-respect? And I get it. It's cool. It's hip. Whatever. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna go. Get all these girls. This, that. Like, dude, you're gonna regret that. You're gonna regret that. And I'm not saying that to sit there and talk down on anybody. None of what I'm saying is to talk down on. I know a lot of good people that, they're struggling. They don't get the concepts that we're trying to elaborate on. They don't understand things, and they may end up living that way their whole life. It doesn't make them bad people, and I don't want to press that at all. I don't want people to think that I'm coming out here just getting all hyped up about stuff. I'm very passionate. I've worked really hard to be where I'm at, and that's hard work, right? And I'm not hating on anybody. It's like there's good people out there that do stupid crap. I do stupid crap. That's the thing. But I think if we really try to embrace a life, we live better, we take care of ourselves first, that's going to reflect upon the relationships we have in life. That's going to reflect upon our financial success. It's going to trickle down. Yeah. You've got to start with somewhere, and it's got to start with you. If I'm walking around 300 pounds trying to push exercise, who's going to take me seriously?
Yeah, we all have.
If I'm $200,000 in debt, making $40,000 a year, pushing finances, nobody's going to take me seriously. That's the thing. Nobody's going to take you seriously. And with that, just be careful who you take your advice from. That's another thing. I always thought, like, that's my family. I got to take advice from them. Half of them live like shit. The reality is, you got to take advice from people who know what they're talking about. If I'm having relationship issues, I don't go to somebody with 3 divorces.
Right, bro.
If I'm having financial issues, I don't go to my broke cousin. You go to the people who are doing well in an area. There might be somebody who's making $3 million a year, right? I'm going to get financial advice from them, but they might have 6 divorces under their belt. You sure the hell won't see me going, hey, I'm having problems with my girlfriend right now. You want to help me out? No, dude, that's not working on yourself either. That's seeking ignorance. That's blatantly seeking ignorance. And that ignorance in turn, it's going to decrease your knowledge. It's full circle, man. It's all trickle down.
Ignorance is more expensive than education. Ignorance. So
that's a good one.
It is.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure, guys. I'm glad I could join you from San Diego. We'll definitely, Kirk, you got to have me on the show again.
Dude, no doubt.
No doubt.
It was fun. I wish I had more time. I really do wish I had more time. I've got a busy day today, and it's only going to get busier. So
yeah, I can imagine, bro. All right, man. Peace out, bro. You are the man.
Next one's got to be trust.
Ooh, we'll dive into some good
finance. We got to dig into that. All right, Rashed, it's been a pleasure. Kirk, love you, brother.
Love you, bro.
Pleasure.
Yes, sir.
See you guys later.
All right, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. We unpacked a lot here. Like I said, it's a lot to take in. You might got to watch it again. You know what I'm saying? We unpacked relationships, budgeting, Like, it's a lot of big things here. And
We just talking.
Just talking.
We just hanging out.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff you guys should take in and use it to, help better yourselves and everything. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. It helps us out a ton. And we're out of here. The 4F Podcast. See you next time.
Peace out.